audience is listening.
Azanite's blood. Look at all those fires. Rosalind has no chance against that army. What do you think? Any chance they haven't seen us yet? No such luck. Look for cover. The Azanite gunners have us sighted. Wait in cover till they pause to reload. Army is already here. She must be driving them hard. That gate may be strong, but it won't stand up to Patty's. So, this place isn't abandoned after all. The lock on the gate makes that plain. Let's have a look.
I thought you were part of Jane's advance guard. Never been happier to be wrong. We're nearly too late. The enemy will soon take the rear entrance into the mines. My men and I came here to collapse the entrance with our cannons, but were taken by surprise. I was wounded.
How long has the fighting been going?
It's been 3 days now. General Devonsey had only just returned when Jane's forces got here. We had little warning or time to prepare. Glitterdelve has too many entrances, and we've been struggling to control them.
Do we have enough time to seal the rear entrance?
I believe so. But you'll need ammunition. We've used the ruins on this mountainside as storehouses. Take this key. Some of them are locked. Our cannons are past me, down the path, on a perch overlooking the entrance. Once you've found what you need, you can fire the cannons and collapse the entrance into the mine. If you don't, the Queen's men will be overrun.
I've passed by some of these ruins. What are they?
Old Legion watchtowers and outposts. They've seen better days, but they work well enough as shelter and storage.
I'll head to the ruins now.
Thank you. I'd go, but I don't think I have much time left. One of the ruins is down this path, past our cannons on the overlook. We walked past the other two already. We used the big one as a camp, but the Azunites seized it. You'd have to blow open the gates to get inside. Regaining control of the camp would help us hold the mountainside. But nothing is more important than collapsing the mine entrance. I wish you luck.
The Royalists are making a fine show of it, but they won't last forever.
Stand your ground, men! We can't let them into the mines!
You there, the Royalist captain. Fall back to the cave and we'll seal it behind you.
That's it! Fall back! Collapse Collapse the entrance behind us!
Waterfall so high in the mountains. Where's it all coming from?
That's a nice bones. Look what you've done. Think you can just blow up the mountain as you please, huh? Fool soldiers, playing war games you don't understand. Always eager to tear things down. You just blew up my front door.
You're just being difficult, aren't you? Was that really a door?
Yes, and a damn good one. Kept you gits off my side of the mountain.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? You all look like you stepped out of a Stonebridge parlor room. I've never seen prettier mountain man. To answer your question, I'm Ibsen Yamas IV, and this is my home. It's far from your civilized world, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
We need to find a way into the Glitterdelve mines. Do you know how to get inside?
Through this pass? There's a way, but good luck finding it. The blizzards are fierce around here. All that snow will turn an experienced mountaineer around. But I'll make you an offer. You fix my front door, and I'll show you the way.
Are you any relation to the famous Ibsen Yamas? The overseer of Glacern?
Unfortunately, yes. I've lived long enough to see everything my ancestors built come crashing down. The whole country's falling apart. I don't need any of that. Everyone tries to rebuild the old kingdom, but all they do is tear things up even more. Out here, things are simple.
We're not from the Royalist Army, and we're not from Jane's army either.
Of course, my mistake. How could you be soldiers as heavily armed as you are? Expeditioners, mountain explorers, no doubt. To be honest, I don't care why you're here or why you think firing cannonballs is a good use of your time, as long as you stay clear of my home.
Your front door was a wall of crystalline ice. How do we replace that?
This isn't just any mountain. That waterfall you just walked past. A bit peculiar to have flowing water here, don't you think? That's geomancy at work. Dwarven magic. It can do all sorts of things. In this case, it heats the rocks and stops the water from freezing, so it'll flow into the mines. Fresh water year-round. It's all part of a vast magical system. The Stone Stream. Amazing work of art. Disrupt that, and that waterfall will freeze right up and make me a new door.
All right. If that's what it takes, then we'll do as you say.
Good. It's hardly something to worry about, anyway. The Stone Stream's magic moves through conduits all over this mountain. 3 of them flow out to the surface in this pass. They burst out of raised holes in the ground, an odd floating line of stones. Hit them a few times and you'll collapse the opening. Believe me, you won't hurt anything important. It'll be like cut...
How will I know that I found these openings?
Look for cracks in the ground with a line of stones floating out of them. They'll stand out, you know, since rocks don't normally fly.
Very well. We'll return when the job is done.
I'll be here. Now, if I can avoid any more visitors, I just might salvage my day. I say this because I saw some royalists bumbling about the past like a bunch of lost cubs. Thought you might want to know. Tell you what, if you find them, feel free to bring them back. Everyone seems to need my help right now. Might as well be a gracious host.
Floating stones, just like the old hermit said. Must be one of the conduits we're looking for. Must be the soldiers that were lost in the pass, and they're in trouble.
Who are you? You're not with Jane by the looks of it.
We're with the Legion, here to help your queen.
I'm sorry. These storms have completely turned us around, and we can hardly be expected to know friend from foe. We're grateful for your help. Do you know a way out of this pass?
There's a cave not far from here where you can take shelter.
We'll follow your lead.
You brought guests, I see. I thought you might go hunting for them. You seemed like the type.
A do-gooder?
A meddler, but at least one with good intentions. Take this for your trouble. Your sorry lot will be staying with me. When you're rested, I'll show you how to get back to your glorified cave. As for you, Legionnaire, you don't get to stay. You haven't sealed off those fissures yet. Do help yourself to that chest. I may be irritable, but I'm not ungrateful.
We won't forget this, friend. May Asanai watch over you.
The water's... I'm a man of...
Trouble ahead.
Quite a sight, isn't it? As for our deal, here, take this stone. It's a lodestar, a very special kind of rock the dwarves discovered long ago. Certain gems will glow when a lodestar is nearby. Gives off a bright light that'll pierce even the angriest snowstorm. The dwarves placed clusters of these gems on the mountain and used them like beacons. Clever little fellows, I'll admit.
Can you point me in a direction at least?
Head west and follow the lights. You'll find your way. While you're out there, you might happen upon a cave. I'll let you in on a secret. It makes for pretty poor shelter, swarming with Dakenwares and frost imps. Nasty place. Though it could be nice one day if those buggers were cleared out. Do me this favor and I'll toss a little something your way. Good luck out there.
Glowing stones, just like the old hermit said. Cave. Probably the one Gibson told us about.
What is it now?
I cleared out that cave. The beasts are all dead.
Really? I'm beginning to think it was worthwhile having to deal with you. No. Now that was a silly thought. Altitude must be getting to me. A promise is a promise, though. Take these. You need them more than I ever will. What is it now?
I've been running around a lot out there. What do you do here exactly?
I take great measures to avoid inquisitive travelers. Apparently, I'm lousy at it. Quite frankly, I'm tired of people and their failings.
I don't need anything more. I should go.
Always nice when people read my mind. Watch yourself out there.
Up the path.
Deck and wares! Stay calm, don't let them surround you! How did you? No matter. Come help us. Unwelcome surprise. My men fought bravely. We'll have to save the greetings for later. Follow me.
What's this? How did you get here?
Calm yourself, Phineas. Our friend here helped us seal the rear entrance. We're all thankful for your heroics in the swamp. Especially those scouts whose lives you saved. I have no doubt that you'll prove your worth again.
I don't doubt your worth. Your timing is just uncanny. No matter. Jane is doing her best to flood these mines with her men. Their numbers are great, and they've employed a fearsome creature. An old, blind, but powerful war beast. It trampled many of our men. We fell back and collapsed the main entrance, but others remain. For now, we're just trying to hold the Dziesiątego back.
We're looking for Queen Rosalind. Where is she?
She refuses to leave her army, even now. She's as stubborn as she is brave. Listen, Queen Rosalind will want to see you. She's still in her court. Just follow the path up the well.
The Dziesiątego are a formidable enemy. How have you fared against Jane Cassandra?
Not well. We're trying to seal all the tunnels that connect to the surface. But Jane has hundreds of soldiers, and they attack from every direction at once. It's only a matter of time before we're overrun.
The well? I assume that's what we're standing in at the moment.
The deep well, actually. That's what the dwarves called it, when they were here. This chamber led to all the riches found in these mines. The wellspring of dwarven culture. The name was a mark of respect.
There must have been hundreds of dwarves living in these mines. What happened to them?
They died, honorably, in the service of Her Majesty. Too great a sacrifice. I don't mean to insult the good queen. Dziesiątego knows the loss weighs heavily upon her.
This isn't the sort of mine I expected. Is there anything else I should know?
I'm sure you've noticed more than a few oddities here, like the floating rocks. Dwarven geomancy is still strong in the mines, even if the dwarves are dead. This magic is their greatest legacy. Geomancy governs everything here, even the air you breathe.
I'll go and find the Queen. Good luck to you.
We'll stay here a while longer and make sure that the tunnels will hold. I'll see you at the court.
It's good to see you again. May Dziesiątego keep you safe.
That's quite a hole in the ground. Very impressive, as holes go.
Leave the tunnel watching to us. The Queen's in the other direction, up the well.
Careful, those flare-ups will cook you alive. There won't be any more explosions like the blast of 943. The dwarves built these magic fans to keep the air clear. Phineas says it's dwarven geomancy that keeps these fans turning. Even after the dwarves are dead, it seems.
Feels solid enough.
Don't worry, those platforms are safer than they look. Just touch the crystal to make it move.
These tunnels aren't safe, friend. James strains our lines as we speak. Go and see the Queen while there's time.
That's a long way down.
Strange, isn't it? They call it the Stone Stream. Been here for years, and it still confuses everyone but Phineas. Strange, isn't it? They call it the Stone Stream. Been here for years, and it still confuses everyone but Phineas.
What do you think the Queen's like? Bit young for me, I suppose, but maybe one of her handmaids.
just through this passageway. Please don't.
No frills here. I suppose one shouldn't expect too much of a royal court. Exile.
My lands, my fort.
You're the ones that helped Lord Devonsey get out of the swamp. The General swears by your prowess in battle. I've been instructed to sell you supplies at a steep discount. At a loss, to be honest. We'd give them away, but resources are scarce.
I cannot believe the royal court has come to this.
I can scarce believe my eyes. Queen Rosalind, these are our friends from the swamp, the ones who helped us escape.
You!
You couldn't know them, my queen. Perhaps you saw their kinsmen in a painting, so they only seem familiar.
I saw you in the Moonweald, when you spoke to the golden-haired child. Was it only a dream, or were you really there?
I was there, and I spoke to the child, just as you say.
I've met the child before, but only in dreams. 3 nights ago, I saw him again. The child said that Jane and her army were near. That's why I told Lord Devonsey to collapse the front gate.
Did the child say anything more?
Only that help was coming. 3 days after the siege began.
Jane was clever this time. She traveled only by night, and she kept her army small and silent. We would never have been ready if the Queen hadn't warned us.
You said that you've met the child more than once?
The first time was the night my father was killed, and we fled his court in Gleason.
It was Her Majesty's dream that led us safely here. She kept her calm. So young, but very much a queen.
Every time Jane comes close to catching us, the child warns me and we escape. It's happened twice more since Gleason.
Your Majesty, I was sent here to find you. The Legion seeks an alliance with the royal court.
An alliance? I'm not sure the Queen is ready to take such a radical step.
Am I not? My father refused to reconcile with the Legion. He kept his pride and lost himself a kingdom. If not for these legionnaires, you would still be trapped in the swamp, and I would be at Jane Cassinda's mercy. For that alone, I trust them.
This is not a matter of trust, Your Majesty, but of appearances. The Legion murdered your grandfather.
The Legion murdered no one. You were a Legionnaire yourself. You should know.
And you abandoned your brothers and sisters. You believe Jane Cassinda's lies.
Are you so sure you know the truth? Were you there? Were you privy to the Grand Master's council, as I was? Murdered your
I hear no more talk of my grandfather's murder. Whatever the truth may be, these Legionnaires are our guests, and our friends.
The signal? So soon? Jane moved faster than we thought. We're not ready to repel her.
Jane and her army found a way into the mines?
2 ways, actually. We collapsed the main entrance, but we didn't have time to seal the others. She's attacking all the breaches at once. Must be driving her people hard.
Give us your leave, and we'll help you defend this place.
A poor queen I should be if I refused the help of a friend. Lord Devonsey can tell you where you're needed most.
Jane's soldiers are pushing their way into the mining tunnels above and below us. I'd thought to collapse those tunnels more quickly, but my people are too few. We need to drive back the enemy soldiers, set black powder charges at each of the mining tunnels, and get out of the way before they collapse.
When the tunnels are sealed, is there any other way for Jane to get inside?
Only one. A half-finished tunnel at the base of the deep well. I'd hoped to seal all the entrances but that one. Force her to attack us there. But the present circumstances may work in our favor. The lower entrance won't seem so much like an obvious trap. Assuming, of course, that we can stop her forces in the mining tunnels.
No time to waste then. I'll head for the mining tunnels.
Roderick is my officer in charge. He's probably on his way to the tunnels.
And thank you. It means a great deal to have the Legion at my side.
I see that everyone's been introduced. Please, Legionnaire, come speak to me when you have a moment. Welcome to our home. Not the most lavish of courts, I'll admit, but it's not without a certain homely charm. Still, what little we do have is at risk. You know this all too well, I'm sure. The battle for this mountain will determine the Queen's future, but also at issue are the riches of the past, dwarven treasures that must be preserved.
What exactly are you trying to protect?
Geomantic artifacts are scattered throughout these mines. Tomes, devices, enchantments, and painite. One of the rarest gems in all of Ebb, key to the greatest accomplishments of geomancy.
Why is painite so valuable?
Geomancers often used the term facilitator to describe substances that amplified the reach and flow of magic. Among their scholars, no facilitator was accorded higher value than painite.
You want me to find some painite, I assume?
Yes, you have a lodestar already, so you'll know how to use this. It's a lodestar that reacts to the presence of painite. A dozen samples will be sufficient. I will greatly appreciate it if you bring them to me.
I had better head to the mining tunnels.
May the battle go well. Every second that Jane is held back could make the difference.
I've been instructed to sell you supplies at a steep discount. Is there any chance you'll be going to the southern mines, perhaps?
Tell us what you need. If it's as important as you say, we'll find the time.
Something valuable was left behind. A weapon of advanced make. Jane may have numbers, but she can't match the ingenuity of our weaponsmiths. The weapon is a rifle that can fire several shots before reloading. With it, a single soldier is more valuable than 10. The design hasn't been perfected yet, but we're close. When we fled from the Azanites, the rifle was left behind in a crystal cavern in the mines. We must recover it before Jane's men find it.
Where in the cavern is it exactly?
I don't know. I think I dropped it near a group of crystals, but that's all I can remember.
We'll try to bring the rifle back to you.
Be careful. Those mines are probably swarming with Azanites now.
Azanites. Must have broken into the mining tunnels just as Devonsy said.
Devonsy sent you to assist. That's welcome news. My men are stretched too thin. We haven't the manpower to contain all the breaches. These tunnels are already overrun.
You've seen what we're up against. What's our next move?
Collapse those tunnels straight away. We've got a breach at the ventilation shaft to the east. We brought black powder as quickly as we could to the opening, but we're still a few satchels short of what we need. You can find satchels in the mining tunnels. Grab them, make your way to the breach, and help us collapse it.
If these tunnels are overrun, I'll need to know more about the breach.
The ventilation shaft does lead to the outside, but it was made for the gases flowing through Glitterdelve, not us. Be careful over there.
No time to waste. I'll head for the breach now.
Very good. I'll head to the western tunnels to see how our men fare there. Good luck.
Heads up!
Hold them back!
We'll never find the rifle in here. Not unless we smash these crystals.
Look! Over there! Ready the cannon!
Brilliant. Now those cannons are stirring up the spiders. We've got what we came for. Let's say we get out of here.
Don't let them through! For the Queen! Still alive, I see. That means plenty of dead Azanites, which makes me a happy soldier. But we're outnumbered here, and the tunnels have been overrun with more of Jane's
What's the situation?
We have a breach at the old transport shaft. The dwarves built it here, since it's further down the mountain, closer to the main roads. My men weren't able to carry much explosive powder before the attack began. You might find some in our storage chamber by the incinerator pit, but my men are under attack there. If you could help them, I'd be grateful.
I better get...
Thank you, Legionnaire. I'll round up a few soldiers and make a stand at the court. I pray it won't come to that.
Those men are trapped on the other side. Hurry! Let's move these platforms to make a path.
We won't last long trapped here. Are in place. Move! the other tunnels breached as well.
The Alzanites will never reach the court.
It's like the inside of one of those hollow stones with all the crystals inside.
don't suppose you found the rifle.
I have it right here.
Lord Devonsey was right about you. I don't know how to thank you enough. Please, take these items. I'm sure you'll need them before you've seen the last of Jane Cassinda.
I hear the tunnels have yet to be fully sealed. I hope my requests haven't distracted you too much from the task at hand. The Pay Knight. You have it. Wonderful. You have ensured the future of geomancy. And perhaps the royal line as well. Please, take these items. They're prized possessions from the Royal Armory. A fair reward for your contributions.
well here. There, that mine stock will do. Let's put the explosives inside. Take much more of this. Go. That fuse won't burn for long. These are even more intense. Must have been the explosion that set them off. Hear that? A sound like a drill. 3 guesses who's behind it.
I'm told that the tunnels are sealed and Jane's forces are repulsed. That was fine work. Now she's trying to drill her way inside at the base of the deep well.
What kind of drill are we talking about?
Goblin technology. Easy enough to procure if you have contacts in Stonebridge, and everyone does. We acquire our cannons the same way.
Phineas and I have prepared a trap for Jane. It will require all our remaining stores of black powder.
We'll need to shut down the stone stream, allow the combustible vapors to accumulate at the bottom of the well.
So if the vapors collect at the bottom of the deep well, we can set off an explosion.
And consume Jane's army and fire. If any survive, they'll surely be crushed by falling rock, and their tunnel will be buried as well. I've taken some of the cannons that you saved from the swamp and set them at the bottom of the well. If Jane's forces break through the tunnel too soon, they'll provide a tactical advantage.
What do you think of our plan? Lord Devonsey is sure it will work, but I should...
This is our best chance to inflict terrible losses on Jane, and still keep most of your people alive.
Most of Jane's soldiers are deluded and young. What a horrible way to die, for men and women who are little older than me. I'm sorry. You must think me silly and soft. If you and Lord Devonsey are agreed, then I shall trust your judgment.
Phineas will climb to the top of the well and shut off the stone stream. Will you go with him and keep him safe?
So you'll be at the bottom of the well, setting the black powder charges?
Roderick and his men are already at work. They're bringing the last of the charges below.
Phineas will be safe with me, as long as he stays close.
Right. I've got to fetch a few books and scrolls. I'll meet you at the top of the well.
Too old to fight,
I worry.
they told.
About my husband in these drafty caverns. He'll catch his death.
Is it true? Are you really from the 10th Legion?
Queen Rosalind had a dozen maids in Glacier.
Is it true?
But we
Are you
were
really
all
from the
that's
10th
left.
Legion?
Step onto it. There you are. Let's hurry. I should be able to form a path to center.
What a magnificent... I don't even know what to call it. Device? Apparatus? Floating stone thing?
There it is. I've never been this close. Sad that we must put it to rest. This will take a few moments, and all of my focus. Sentinels! They won't stop until I haunt the stone stream. Keep them back!
Those sentinels don't look happy to see us.
Trying to hold back a river. I'm trying.
No way to kill these damn things, and no traps to lure them into.
I need to rest a while. Go on, quickly. I'll be safe here.
Phineas did it, didn't he? The fans have stopped, which means that the well is going to be a dangerous place very soon. Unfortunately, it won't be soon enough. Jane's army broke through and her men are storming into the bedrock. Lord Devonsey and his soldiers are holding them off. Help them buy us some time to get our explosives ready. Then we'll send those bastards to Azanai.
The Royalists look like they could use our help.
Fight for Queen Rosalind!
I'm glad you're safe. Look, down there. We held the high ground, but they're pushing us back. My soldiers need your help. You can take the floating platform to the bottom. Thanks to you, we still have our cannons from the swamp. We'll use them to cover you until Roderick signals us all to retreat. Do whatever you can to delay Jane's army. We need more time for the vapors to build up at the bottom of the well.
Gas makes a fine stench. It's building up fast.
Peace. My Lady Jane Cassinder calls parley.
Lower your weapons. We've come here to talk. I would know who leads my enemy's army. Tell me, why is your face so like my handmaid's? And my own? Why does an Archon stand against her own kind?
You claim to be an Archon too?
My mother was an Archon, yes.
My lady, this woman was one of the Legionnaires in Raven's Rill. My life was spared by her word.
Mercy from the Legion? I find that hard to believe. Unless it was some kind of ploy. Violence has always been the Legion's way. Ever since Hugh Montbaron murdered the old king. Did you plan the same for little Queen Mouse?
What did we do to earn your hate? It couldn't have been the death of some distant king.
Some distant king? Yes. He must seem so to you. The old king. The man your legion sought to murder and displace. He was my father.
And your mother? She was an Archon?
Yes. One of the last of her kind. Granted shelter and solace by my father, the king.
If it's true that your mother was an Archon, what brought her to Ebb?
She came to this world with her sisters, seeking the lost gods they once served. She could not have been much different from you, except that she understood who and what she was. And she had her sisters. She was not alone.
If your father was the old king, then you and Roslyn are family.
By blood, Roslyn is my niece. But I will never call her kin. Her family stood by, content to watch, while I destroyed the Legion and avenged our father. Only then did they turn against me. They raised an army to put me in chains. A mistake, they'd tell you. If they were not all dead.
Roslyn said nothing of this to me. Does she know that she's your niece?
Perhaps she doesn't know, if her family kept it from her. What better way to let a shameful secret die?
If the royal family turned against you, they must have had good reason.
Good reason? Only if you count jealousy and fear. People had begun to whisper that the king had been my father. They were rumors, nothing more. But they worried the rightful heirs. I had no designs upon the throne. Not then. But neither would I go quietly to the noose. They created the very monster they feared.
Roslyn had no part in any of this, so why fight her?
Because Roslyn is weak. She could never rebuild this nation alone. She'll be forced to rely upon others, like your Legion. And you will have power over her. But that is what you want, is it not? I have no need to make such bargains. I am strong enough to rebuild my father's kingdom on my own. And greater powers, not of this world, have shown their favor of me. I will not fail.
We've spoken enough about your father and his kin.
Now you know why I lay claim to this kingdom. I am well within my rights.
What if I take you at your word? Can we negotiate a truce?
What if there is some truth to what she says? Wouldn't hurt to ask Devonsey, if we get out of this alive.
They need not be killed, my lady. We could offer exile, or...
Not to the Legion. No. I have heard the voices of my mother's lost gods. On this day, they will grant me victory over you and the Pretender Queen. This parley is finished. Remain here, and you will be slain. Try to run, and I will hunt you down. We shall not speak again.
Do you hear that noise? Didn't Phineas say something about the heroics? Be on guard.
The war beast lay dead, its fall testament to the might of the 10th Legion. But it seemed a Pyrrhic victory as the Azunite army pushed into the deep well. Hundreds of soldiers poured from the tunnels, easily outnumbering the Royalist forces. You and your allies fled before them, but this was not the defeat it might have seemed. Without the stone stream to refresh it, the air in the deep well was a seething cauldron of explosive gas, awaiting the merest spark. That spark the Royalists were all too happy to provide. The explosion collapsed the well, entombing the Azunites beneath the mountain, and shattering Jane Cassinder's hopes of destroying the Queen. Would that Cassinder herself had been buried there, along with her men. But such an end was not her fate.
Jane's army is fleeing down the mountain. The woman lives, but we're safe from her. For now.
The victory is yours. We owe the Legion our lives.
I'm told that Jane spoke to you. She mentioned the old king, no doubt. And the Legion's role in his murder.
I need to know what really happened. All the facts, no matter how shameful.
We ought to begin more conversations this way.
Jane Cassinder spoke the truth, as far as she understands it. The commanders of the Legion did conspire to unseat the old king. The goal was never to murder the old king, only to replace him with his eldest son. But the king resisted, and the matter went awry.
You must understand. My grandfather was a monster. Even his own children despised him.
You say the king was a monster. What had he done?
I do not pretend to understand the man, but by all accounts, he was prone to paranoia, irrational rages. He grew jealous of the Legion. Before long, he started seizing our chapter houses and estates, threatening to disband the Legion altogether. So Mont Baron struck first.
We have a friend, an old Legion scout called Odo. Would he have known about the plot?
No. Mont Baron told the rank and file nothing, so that they wouldn't share in his guilt. Little good it did them. They all died, innocent or not.
If they didn't mean to harm the king, then why was he slain?
I wasn't there when it happened, but I'm told that the king drew a sword. The man wasn't much of a fighter, more a danger to himself than the Legionnaires. Who knows how he ended up with a blade in his gut? All the parties are long dead, and we shall never learn the truth.
You were one of the Legion commanders. Weren't you part of the plot?
When the plan was put forward by Mont Baron, I spoke against it. We had all made a vow to defend the crown, and it seemed to me that our word should be kept. But all the others disagreed. So I abandoned the Legion, left the hall, out the door, and never went back. The king was in the wrong, yes. But was treason our only recourse? I thought not.
You were the only one who abandoned the Legion over this?
A good friend followed me into exile. His name was Garin Marcel. We served the royal family as generals during the war with Jane. Garin died at the Battle of Drifter's Cross. Phineas is his son.
Jane told me something else. She said that she was the king's illegitimate daughter.
Ah, the old rumors. I can't say for sure, but I am inclined to believe them.
Jane Cassinda shares my blood? What else have you not told me, Lord Devonsey? The woman lost her father. Her family betrayed her. That doesn't excuse what she's done, but at least now I understand. I would ask one more favor of the Legion. Should you meet her again, will you spare Jane Cassinda's life?
Your Majesty, she's been hunting you and your family for years. Why would you ask me to spare her life?
This mountain once bustled with dwarves, and now they are gone. Dead so that I might keep my crown. My parents, My maids and courtiers. All of Lord Devonsy's men. Too many have died for my sake.
Your Majesty, think of the political ramifications.
If Jane Cassinda dies, do you think the cities of the East will bow their heads? No. They will curse us for murdering their living saint, and the war will drag on.
Whereas if we come to an agreement and Jane is kept alive, the war ends peacefully.
You assume that the woman will surrender at all. I wouldn't make such a wager.
If she's willing to surrender, I'll let Jane live.
Lord Devonsy will surely chastise me for my gentle nature, but I am sure this is the right course. Whatever happens, the Legion has my trust and support.
I shall send riders to all the towns and villages that support the Queen with news of our alliance. You have the word of the Royal Court. All Western Ebb will stand united behind the Legion.
My family should have reckoned... Stay as n...
You've done it. You will always be welcome here.
What will...
Well, if Glitterdelve is to be salvaged, after that...
We must...
To you as well, friend.
We've come a long way from that filthy swamp, haven't we? You've given us a victory that will be remembered for years to come. Escorting you to the causeway is the least that we can do. Are you ready to go?
Yes. Let's head to the causeway.
We've had rumors of another battle. Is it true? Jane Cassinda's army retreating in disarray?
Disarray is too kind a word. I might say panic, or terror instead.
And Rosalind, what did you think of her? Worthy to wear the crown or no?
She's young and soft-hearted. With guidance, she could become strong.
Soft-hearted is a bit of an understatement. Tell them how she asked us to be nice to Jane Cassinda.
I think that bodes well for us. Strength can be learned. Empathy and compassion cannot.
What about our proposal? Does she favor the Legion?
Rosalind agreed to an alliance. She and Devonsey gave their word.
Well done. But that's not all, is it? The news can't all be good.
Jane Cassinder is the daughter of the old king. She told me herself. You never knew?
I always thought that was just a rumor. This changes things.
If Jane Cassinder is the old king's daughter, then she has a claim to the throne. Probably thinks it's her right.
Better to strike now while she's off balance. Still reeling from her loss at Glitterdelve.
Jane must have a stronghold, and it's probably well guarded. We need an army of our own.
Stonebridge can field an army of automatons if need be. If we can seal an alliance with them, they might be willing to help us against Jane.
Jane could be anywhere. Do you know where she's gone?
Jane's capital is 5 days' march from here, maybe more. She calls it the Spire. Half cathedral, half fortress, on the summit of a mountain. That's where she'll be. The most impregnable stronghold in Ebb.
That's another reason to win the Meister's support.
The Meisters have always avoided taking sides. No profit for them, getting embroiled in a war.
I agree. Our chances may be slim, but it's still worth a try.
Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways.
Free the Krug! Free the Krug!
Free the Krug!
Ah, half a minute there. You came from the chapter house, did you not? Tell me, is it true? Has the Legion returned?
Only a few of us. But yes, we've reclaimed the old chapter house.
Ha! Let them laugh at me now! Meister Wolf, with his silly dreams of radiant children and prophecies of the Legion's return.
You had a dream of a golden-haired child? A boy?
Precisely so. Not a fortnight past. I dreamt that I saw a golden-haired boy standing at my bedside. He bade me get up and follow him.
You saw the radiant youth? Are you descended from the Legion?
Wish I were, but no. My father was a merchant, and his father as well. If I'd had any Legion blood, I dare say I'd have been killed with the rest of them 30 years back.
I'm here to address the Meisters. We want to propose an alliance against Jane Cassinder.
An alliance? That'll be tricky business. I can force them to give you a hearing, at least. I'll warn you, though, they're scared. Scared of Jane Cassinda and her armies. Scared that we'll lose our republic if she takes the city by force. And scared of other things, too.
The Meisters are scared of something else. Something inside the city?
No, forget I spoke of it. The other Meisters will know you've been talking to mad old Wolf with his secrets and conspiracies, and that won't win you any friends on the Council.
I'm ready to address the Meisters.
Capital! I shall go on ahead and announce you. We'll await you inside.
Welcome to the Stonebridge Jail.
Isn't running a jail a bit complicated for an automaton?
I apologize, but I was not designed to answer questions of a remedial nature.
Not at the moment.
Wasting the time of Stonebridge constables is not presently a jailable offense.
Gentlemen and goblins, order! Council recognizes the envoy from the 10th Legion.
Meister Wolf tells us that you propose an alliance. A grave matter indeed. Perhaps our colleague forgot to emphasize how deeply we value our neutrality.
A war with Jane Cassinda would risk the very life of our republic. What do we gain by siding with the Legion?
For 30 years, we've known nothing but civil war. Help us bring order to Ebb. We were one people, one nation. We can be so again.
If Stonebridge takes the first step, the rest of the country will follow. People will remember that the rebirth of Ebb started here.
A chance to redeem our city's name. An honorable course to take.
Nonetheless, you can understand why some in the city might fear the Legion's return.
Countless Legionnaires were murdered in our streets. People might think that you've come to seek revenge.
We won't punish a whole city for the actions of a few. If you did nothing wrong, you have nothing to fear.
How can I put this? Your words don't precisely put our fears to rest.
Nonsense! The Legion is no threat. There's far more dangerous things in this city, if you would only open your eyes.
Ah, our colleague again speaks of the dapper old gent, no doubt.
Indeed, sir, I do. You think that the trouble in the Foundry is not the work of the gent?
Wolf, you didn't say anything about the Foundry before.
Bad business. The Foundry supplies power to all of Stonebridge, but now it's gone silent, and no one knows why.
Meister Wolf, let us not turn aside from the matter at hand. We owe the Legion our vote.
No, wait. That hardly seems fair. Force a vote now, and it will assuredly go against the Legion. I propose a recess. Let us each speak privately to the Legionnaires so that we can reach an informed and impartial judgment.
How many votes do I need to win your support?
A simple majority will suffice. 3 of 5 votes cast in the Legion's favor. Council declares a recess. We shall reconvene after the Legion envoy has spoken to each of my esteemed colleagues, and all are prepared to render a judgment. Ah, the envoy from the Legion. Is there something else you need?
You were elected to lead the city?
By a popular vote of almost 70%. Not counting the automatons, of course. Our mayor is elected from among the Meisters, the leading citizens of the town. It's a far better system than we used to have. We put an end to all that autocratic nonsense not long after the Old Kingdom collapsed.
What can we do to win your vote? An alliance will benefit us both.
There's that word again. Alliance. You won't think ill of me, I hope, if I express a certain degree of concern. But I shall respect the wishes of the other Meisters. If you can convince my colleagues to take your side, I shall vote in your favor as well.
I won't take any more of your time. Good day.
Indeed, and a good day to you as well.
Yes. I was wondering when you'd come and harass me. No doubt you're here to solicit my vote for your organization.
You could at least offer me a proper introduction.
Oh, yes. Trivialities. I'm Lord Barrister Mudgutter, Director of the Office of Contracts and Patents, Chief Magistrate of Stonebridge. And I have some other random titles with capital letters. I think I'm technically the High Marshal of top fermenting beverages.
Then I trust you're the goblin to talk to if I want the Meister's support.
One of them, yes. I think you'll find that Wolf is very much smitten with the romantic notion of the Legion. The rest of us need convincing.
How can the Legion earn your vote?
Well, you could help me alphabetize court documents, but a better use of your talents would be to help me with an investigation. Normally, I'd have Wolf handle the situation, but it happens to involve a sizable degree of danger, and Wolf is too important to risk.
If this is the price for your support, I accept. Just tell me what you need.
So, the matter at hand. We've had numerous reports of masked individuals hauling automatons into the crypts under the city. Whatever their aim, they are slowly eroding our defenses, and that is intolerable, especially with Jane Cassinda and her army on the loose. If someone was to enter the crypts and purge them of these criminals, I would owe that person a favor.
Have many of your automatons gone missing?
Only a few have gone missing. More troubling is that a few have returned looking like they were opened and studied.
You said that these crypts are underneath the city?
Indeed. Old records refer to them as the Crypts of the Sacred Blood, a vast network of tunnels extending from the farmlands in the south. With every passing generation, further tunnels are dug. No one has charted them all. The crypt in question is cut off from the rest, thanks to a tunnel collapse some years back, so you needn't fear getting lost.
Consider it done. We'll be back when we've dealt with these criminals.
Well then, if you keep your word, I shall do the same and cast my vote in support of the Legion. Good day.
So the Legion has come looking for my vote. These are perilous times. An entangling alliance is hardly prudent. But I forget my manners. I am Rorik Castle, City Meister and Factol of the Ironmongers.
In the council meeting, Wolf said something about the Foundry. Is that your responsibility?
Ah, yes. That is our responsibility. The Foundry is the wellspring of our city's prosperity. We keep the economy in motion, and we are the drumbeat of progress.
Your guild is obviously important. We need friends like you, and we're willing to prove our goodwill.
If you wish to be of service, there is a certain problem that requires attention. The Foundry is presently overrun. It's the blasted Cyclopses. They were docile workers for years, but something in them snapped, and they've brought the Foundry to a standstill.
Why would they do this? Do you have any idea?
None at all. But I'm not involved in the day-to-day supervision of their work. Speak to my foreman, Mr. Snell, at the Foundry. He will explain our predicament in greater detail.
Greetings, Legionnaire. If you've come to win my vote, don't bother. My mind is made up. Stonebridge will have no entangling alliances. So that's that. Now, if you need some little task to occupy your time, or if you have a question, perhaps I can be of service.
Why are you so eager to dismiss the Legion?
I trust the Legion. What I don't trust is this city. It has a dark history with the Legion. Some doors should remain closed. Personally, I wish you great success in restoring the Legion, but I don't feel my vote for you is in the best interest of Stonebridge.
Are you sure there's nothing we can do to win your vote?
At the moment, no. But worry not, I'm sure the other Meisters will vote for you if you sate their self-interested needs. Now, I do have a task or two for you. It's not going to win over my vote, but I would find a way to repay your efforts. Long ago, the Legion served as the mediator of first and last resort. When an argument ran out of control, the Legion offered counsel.
Is the court system of Stonebridge inadequate?
For now, you will arbitrate civil matters that are beyond the purview of the courts. Mudgutter and his barristers will handle the criminals. Your first task is to handle a situation with a prisoner of ours, a Krug. He has no crimes charged against him, but his fate is disputed. Many argue he's safer in prison. Others want him free. He's here in the Meister Hall's jail. Make your inquiries there, then tell the automaton who presides over the jail what you've decided. It's hardly dragon slaying, but if you're true to the Legion, you'll have time for small matters. Go on now, I've got work to do.
Ah, the envoy from the Legion.
I won't...
Welcome to the Stonebridge Jail. Do you have business with the incarcerated?
I'd like to speak to the Krug prisoner. Fiddlewick asked me to appraise the situation and determine the Krug's fate.
Very well. It is Meister Fiddlewick's prerogative to entrust such decisions to strangers, rather than automated constables with decades of experience. Please note that the Krug has been imprisoned for its own safety. It is highly unpopular with citizens, especially those who own pitchforks.
Krr.
How did you wind up behind these bars?
Krr. Krr.
Are you being treated well?
Krr.
Sorry about that. Seems the rattle in my lungs gets worse every year. You were asking about my treatment here? Just fine, thank you. The automated constable here, Krr, tends to my comestibles and keeps away the rabble.
Where did you learn to talk like that?
From my mother, Krr. Before she abandoned me. I guess when your son looks like a hideous monster, maternal compassion withers.
People seem to think you're a Krug. Why haven't you said something and corrected the situation?
I'm tired of being harassed and assaulted. This time I decided I'd let them think I'm a monster and keep me locked up. I've thought about getting out of here, but I have nowhere to go. I'm content to just stay here and daydream.
I have to decide whether you stay or go free.
Well, I suppose I've committed no crime, unless being hideous is illegal. But if it's all the same to you, I'm safe here. Let them go on thinking I'm a Krug. It won't hurt my feelings. If you let me go, have someone escort me out of the city at least.
Welcome to the Stonebridge Jail. Do you have business with the incarcerated?
I've come to a decision on the Krug.
I will enact whatever outcome you deem appropriate. Please enunciate carefully.
He should stay in the cell until space is needed. The locals will just try to kill him.
Very well. The Krug will remain in protective custody. Your innovative solutions clearly surpass the abilities of automated constables. Thank you.
Krr. It's safe in here.
I wasn't certain that the Legion had truly returned, but after witnessing your resolution of the plight of the oppressed Krug proletariat, it caused a great imbalance in my sanguine humors. Fairly had me bursting with them. Now then, we have much to accomplish. Shall we get started?
What in the world are you talking about?
Oh my, do forgive me. I mistook you for a Collegium woman. I meant only that it made me proud, whilst at the same time risking distempers of the blood. Now then, much to do, much to do. Shall we be off?
What do you mean by we have much to do? Who exactly are you?
Yes, we. First person plural, in this case collective. I could lend you this excellent book on grammar, but wait, I'm forgetting my manners. I am Reinhard Manx, scholar, inventor, and sartorial adventurer. I have degrees in advanced thaumaturgical studies and non-Goblinian geometry. Naturally, I also have a grounding in the classics, but more importantly to you, I am descended from the Grand Mage Merrick, a legionnaire through and through.
That would make him Merrick's last descendant then. In the old stories, Merrick was always more interested in making magic than, well, children.
Well, needless to say, it's been my dream to reunite with other children of the 10th Legion. Second only to the dream of a thaumaturgical waistcoat that can change its color and cut to match the latest season's fashions.
If you have Legion blood, why didn't you join us at the gathering?
Oh, you mean the invitation calculated to lure all the Legion descendants into one place? You must be joking. That was obviously a trap. One would have to be suicidal, or at least a great buffoon, to walk into that sort of setup. Oh my, do forgive me. I should have realized. I meant no offense. But in any case, no, I regretfully declined when that letter arrived.
How have you lived in Stonebridge all this time? I thought this town had a bad history with the Legion.
Had I trumpeted my lineage, we would have seen democracy in action. The ballot would have been whether I would be lynched or dissected, but still... I used to dream that the Legion would rise up from the ashes. But I also dream of square circles, so make of that what you will. The people of Stonebridge may have committed a terrible crime against the Legion, but I think it's time to forgive and rebuild.
Forgiveness is an old virtue of the Legion. I'd say your heart is in the right place.
In all my studies of time, I found that you can coil it, twist it, bend it, but it always unwinds the same way. Hatred can't undo the past, so why hold a grudge? Why bother defending Ebb if you can't accept that its people will make mistakes? And of course, forgiveness facilitates the open exchange of ideas. It's hard to have a symposium with a lynch mob.
You said you were a scholar, but have you seen any combat?
I'm hardly the mage that my great-grandfather was, but I was best in my class when it came to channeling and energy manipulation. I may possess a physique best described as suety, but by application of higher non-Goblinian mathematics, I could rip a man in half with a thought. Well, theoretically I could. It's not as though I practice on people. That would be rather rude, and mildly illegal, but mostly rude.
We need everyone in the Legion to join forces. Are you with us?
Am I with you? Does the thaumaturgical constant Q trend towards infinity for given values of the human soul? The answer is yes, by the way. The Legion needs to stand together, lest we fade into memory. So without further ado, let's be off.
The problem of the Krug has been set.
I should thank you for resolving the matter of the Krug. Such a small issue, but it required an outside voice.
Do you have another problem for me to mediate?
Yes, I do. Baron is a wealthy landowner with a claim to many parcels of land here in town. He wants to charge rent to Hans. Hans has an equally compelling claim to the plot of land. Mudgutter informs me it's a case of eminent domain versus original acquisition. With the court deadlocked, both have agreed to let you settle their dispute. I'll have them meet you at the chapter house.
Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways.
They're here. I'm Hans. This is Baron. We have a disagreement, and we decided we'd abide by whatever decision you make.
We have a moment to listen to your dispute. Since you're both willing to abide by the decision, we'll mediate as best we can.
I purchased a parcel of land 15 years ago, and have been selling my wares for ages. The Baron here tells me I owe him rent.
You see, I bought large tracts of land back in the days of the farmer. Hans was taken by a charlatan. I certainly didn't authorize the sale.
Yes, well, you did nothing to stand up for your claim to the land. After endless talk with the barristers, we're still deadlocked.
Hans, can you explain why exactly you think your claim is stronger than the Baron's?
My purchase to the land was vetted and signed by the city of Stonebridge. They failed to research the land's original ownership. But even so, I can claim the right of eminent domain. I've used the land for over 10 years, with no argument from the original owner. I feel terrible that the Baron's land was sold out from under him, but he had ample time to correct this mistake.
Baron, tell me more about your claim to the land.
By right of original acquisition, the law says the land is mine. I bought it first. Sure, it was human lifetimes ago, but first is first. I am an old goblin, so years pass like months for me. I didn't notice Hans had set up shop and claimed my land as is until recently. I think I'm being fair. He owes me rent for the last several years, and if he wants to stay, he needs to keep paying rent, or he can leave.
I see. The laws are indeed at an impasse here, but I've come to a decision.
So what will it be? Is the land indeed mine, or does this human get to claim it?
Hans' purchase may be questionable, but the Baron had plenty of time to assert ownership. Hans is the real owner of that property.
Figures. Humans always side with humans. Well, I did say I'd accept the ruling. Oh well, I own plenty of land, just a drop in the bucket.
I feel the culprit is the town council that authorized my purchase of the land. Thank you, Legionnaire, for listening to our dispute.
Please spend your currency at local markets. Please spend your currency at local markets.
Free the Krug! Free the Krug!
Free the Krug!
Half a human generation has gone by without the Legion here to settle disputes. At last, that tradition returns to Stonebridge. I know you have evil to smite, so it means a lot to me and to the city that you can take time for the little things. Here's a little something for your efforts. Now be careful out there. Welcome back, Legionnaire. What can I do for you today?
Can you tell me a little about Stonebridge?
Of course! I always have time to talk about our fair city. What do you need to know?
You and the humans seem to coexist quite peacefully. Are there many goblins in Stonebridge?
Ah, yes. This city is quite the achievement of cosmopolitan sensibilities. For more than a century, the goblin presence has grown. The laws of Stonebridge value all sentient life, which is a good thing. Human cuisine plus goblinoid cooking technology equals paradise.
This city has gears on the buildings and automated golems walking the streets as constables. What sort of technology is this?
Well, progress makes unlikely bedfellows. The Collegium where I teach is devoted to the study of matter and motion. The many guilds of the city adapted our research to make tools that benefit their trade. One worker now has the output of 3. I worry what this will mean. Not enough jobs, too much power for machine owners. But I digress. These issues don't concern the Legion.
Can you tell me a little about yourself?
I am Professor Fiddlewick, Master of the College. That gives me a permanent seat on the Council, so they can't get rid of me, no matter how hard they try. I've been with the College for years. Got here just before the fall of the Legion.
You were here in the city when the Legionnaires were killed?
I was only a junior scholar at the time, and I watched the madness of the city from my ivory tower in the Collegium. The city was deluded into thinking the Legion was the enemy, and in one day of collective madness, a crowd descended on the chapter house. I think everyone here feels shame for what happened, either because they have blood on their hands, or, as in my case, because they didn't intervene.
That is all I need to know. I should be going.
Take care now.
Free the Krug! Free the Krug!
Free the Krug! You want to lock that thing in a cage for life? You disgust me. I should protest the Legion. I'll need new signs and a new dress first.
Free the Krug! Free the Krug!
Free the Krug!
Not so fast, Legionnaire. None shall pass this gate without the express authorization of the wise and beneficent Meisters of Stonebridge.
Meister Castle asked us to end the work stoppage in the foundry.
I apologize. I do not comprehend the terms work stoppage, general strike, or free will. I will let you pass now. In the future, we will avoid this topic of conversation. Enjoy your time in the foundry. Please comply with all local laws and customs.
second? See, I built this automaton, and it might have gone into a bloodthirsty frenzy of violence. Maybe. If you could do me a favor, I figure it'd be in everyone's best interest if it got smashed up without involving the local authorities. Last thing I need is to have the Sweatcog brand name lose its immaculate reputation for safety.
What sort of name is Sweatcog?
Engineering is 10% innovation, 20% math, and 80% perspiration. Sweatcog is a proud name. Don't mock it.
Can't you just shut it off?
Oh, I thought of that. Problem is, I thought of that after I built the construct. So, the only off switch it's got involves smashing it.
We'll take care of it. Just tell us where it is.
Excellent. You'll find the automaton on the other side of town. Just, try to deal with it before it causes too much trouble. If you stop it, come on back and I'll pay you for your efforts.
Ah, good. I thought I'd find you here. I heard the Legion was back in town, and I've been scampering to get my old notes in order. You see, I've been archiving the history of the 10th Legion in Stonebridge. A sad history, to be sure, but my research can help you.
Go on. What kind of research do you mean?
I've studied the event of the local Legion's demise, the riots. I've kept track of many looters and killers that profited on that day. Some who looted the chapter house proudly displayed their ill-gotten gains, showing off stolen Legion property to house guests. Such arrogance. Well, I have kept track of these pompous criminals, especially the ones who insisted they'd be buried with their trophies.
You spent all this time investigating the Legion's rightful properties. We're in your debt. Where are these artifacts?
I, for one, respect what the Legion did for our kingdom. I'm just doing my part to honor their memory. I've assembled a list of graves that should contain stolen property. Problem is, the crypts have become too dangerous of late. Here, take my notes. Unless the thieves have started looting coffins at random, you should be able to recover the stolen items.
Never thought I'd be robbing graves for the good of the Legion. Desperate times and all that.